keep me.
Hold on.
Wait a minute,
the
what?
Navy.
Yeah, hold on.
Wait a minute.
I can cover this. Apparently that's true. Number 6. Government spoke out. Australia tried to keep him out. Called upon the Navy. They thought he was going to get into the country via a private yacht. And apparently that was a fucking joke. But they actually took it seriously enough to call upon the Navy. A fine use of a military's time, don't you think, folks?
Well, they're there already, so...
Yeah,
Hey,
does Australia not have a Coast Guard or something?
Yeah, I was going to think that's a Coast Guard thing. But,
Yeah, at least in the United States, the way the military is.
Well, it's
broken
covered
down.
by the Australian Royal Navy.
Hold on. I think Donald Trump, by himself, in spite of his popularity, has more haters in like numbers than Roosh V has fans and haters.
I agree with that. We'll look up. We'll go to
Yeah,
this.
I mean, as far as like raw numbers of people who hate, like I'm sure there's lots of people who are well ahead of Roosh, just as far as like who knows him and is aware of him and doesn't like him. Like I'm sure the president of the United States, Barack Obama, like has more haters worldwide. More haters in the United States alone than like Roosh has like, worldwide combined.
Like,
but he's important, right?
Oh yeah.
Stop
But,
your Roosh. You look like
it's obvious. It's obvious that he's like trying to be hyperbolic here, but
Yeah.
Now, because they thought I was going to get in through a private
we got
yacht.
to riff on him for that.
I'm sorry.
Take that, hyperbole.
In
He's being
England,
very
the House of
unpointed, I'm
Commons
sorry.
debated me for half an hour to say how I'm a bad man who shouldn't be allowed entry. Mayors from everywhere, Canada, have said we're going to keep them out like they could anyway. They're just a mayor. A mayor can't keep someone out.
No.
Texas, the governor there said the same thing. Police from everywhere said that all meetups will be monitored.
Yeah.
A private meetup for men is going to be monitored.
I don't know,
1984 is here. Worst
Yeah, I don't
of
know.
all,
Hold on a minute. Pause that a
my
minute.
family's.
I don't agree with that. He's playing a victim again. The police presence necessarily being there does not mean 1984. We're going to fucking monitor you.
Correct.
The fact is that there is a huge. Hold on, let me finish. There is a huge fucking backlash to what you've said, and there's probably going to be a bunch of insane individuals who are going to attack these rather pathetic men who need a pickup artist, as opposed to the rest of masculinity that actually just has fucking sex and meets people. And, you know, has actual social skills. And that's what I gotta say on that matter.
You hit the nail on the head there, because, like, you know, even though he's just joking or whatever, you can't write a piece like that, especially saying you want to decriminalize rape and not expect a certain amount of backlash.
Of course.
So there's no need for him to play the victim there.
Yep.
Yeah, that does seem a little bit like, you know, Feminist Frequency saying some very inflammatory things about like popular songs or like popular video games, for instance, and then, you know, when people push back against that, she's like, oh, it's misogyny.
Well, it's been a pretty good short-term business model, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's something slightly imitative about like Roosh's approach, at least in that capacity. And it
Well, I'll get to that later on as we watch more of the video, because I actually do have a point about this, and it's rather interesting.
It just seems like an uncomfortable parallel. If you're going to look at that, you kind of have to like look in the mirror and be like, hey, I've seen this before, or not in the, you know, at a mirror that's pointed towards him through the mirror. I guess would be whatever. Back to Roosh.
Address was put on the internet through the hacking group Anonymous, and your colleagues at the Daily Mail confirmed the docs.
Pause a minute. He actually does
Say
have a
that I
point
eat
about
my
that.
mom's meat.
He does actually have a point about that. I mean, not be funny. We all know that it's not wise to what do you call it? Confirm a docs. So he wasn't probably going to confirm the docs, but no, the Daily Mail fucking did. Thus, actually putting his family at risk. I actually do have a problem with that. It's something that really bothers me.
But they're just asking questions.
I mean, he's also received actual threats, including burning the house down. The bit that bothers me, though, is the Daily Mail is actually guilty of inciting hate campaign against Rich V. And this is a problem I have with the media these days. The media is not very responsible with what it does. I mean, if you're going to incite a hate mob against somebody, somebody could possibly get fucking hurt.
But what do you mean by incited it? Well, first of all, like I will agree with one thing that you said that like without making any moral judgment as to whether it's right or wrong or not, they're definitely confirming his docs. Like I don't, as far as I could tell from the story around this, no, they didn't put his docs out there. That was actually done by Anonymous, but they kind of more broadly made them known through publishing. You know,
How did the Daily Mail get tipped off? Like, how did they showed up right at the same time as these police officers?
I think they're aware of like this the doc drop from Anonymous.
I will validate that with point 23. The press will attack Roosh, but not attack Muslims. You see, they'll attack him because he doesn't come into a feminist or social justice agenda. So he's the low-hanging fruit, if you will. The person who they can pick on. As I said, this is the biggest problem I have with the media. They do incite violence against individuals that do not fit their narrative, or easy targets, if you will. Because as I said, Muslims do have a tendency to kill journalists. So yeah, they're not going to really talk about Muslims too much in that capacity. So go for Roosh V instead.
Well, it's not that Muslims have a tendency to kill journalists on the whole. It's just that it's just that journalists who have been killed by radical groups, those groups tend to be Muslims. Like there is a distinction between what those.
No true Scotsman fallacy.
No. Like it's the degree of association. Like that's like saying
ISIS is allowed to exist by the Nation of Islam itself. Cover this one, Sadness. You're an expert at this, or semi-expert.
Right, but the Nation of Islam does not. Well, whatever organization, whatever you're talking about is like as far as like even Middle Eastern governmental organizations, like whatever governments are in the Middle East, like even that's just a small segment of Islam. Like most of, I believe there's more like Muslims in the East than there are like in the Mideast. Like just as far as like raw numbers.
If you're referring to the nation, if you're referring to the Nation of Islam, they're not even considered actual Muslims.
All right. Let me bring this point then. This is a problem that I have. Reporters are lazy. They didn't even bother to read the article, so there's that point.
Yeah.
They also misinterpreted what the article was, thus creating outrage towards him. So you could claim that maybe they didn't intend to do it, but they have created a backlash towards him.
Yeah,
you also have the point of an irresponsible press, which I've already covered. Look at Gamergate, for instance, although Gamergate's a sore point because they're like shit. But the point is, reporters were either ideologically motivated or lazy to report on the facts. That's all I've got with that one. That's the points I took from that.
Just look at the language they use when they write this article. It's like it doesn't read like a professional journalist wrote it. It looks like some pissed off Tumblr feminist wrote a blog piece about this Roosh V guy. Like they're really relishing the fact that he lives in his mom's basement, or they think they did. Mm-hmm. It's like, what kind of fucking journalist writes like that? You just report the facts. Like some
journalism is a joke.
Three things in a blog and it cited a lot of backlash. That's all you have to put in there. But they really want to like stick that knife in there and go, oh, he lives with his mommy, and it's like, are you kidding me? Is this what professional journalism is?
Yeah, I'm not sure I would go so far as to say that like this publication has incited a hate mob for the same reason that I would hesitate to say like Thunderfoot incited a hate mob against Laughing Witch. It's like, well, yeah, he pointed out this shit the same way that the Daily Mail is pointing out this shit, and they obviously have an editorial position that they're speaking from. Thunderfoot.
All right, can I give my second point then?
Both, but like the problem is that like they're kind of wearing their editorial opinion on their sleeve, even when they're just reporting what ostensibly should just be straight news. And I think that it's inappropriate, but I don't think it quite rises to the level of inciting a hate mob.
All right, can I bring my second point here then? The bit that bothers me about Roosh V, because I'm going to call him into question here, he provokes people with controversial points of view and then claims victim when threatened. As much as I defend people to say what they want, they cannot also play the victim in this sense either.
But they do.
Yeah. The problem is, though, is I will call into question the Daily Mail. I've already mentioned why I've called into question the Daily Mail. But at the same time, I'm also going to call out Roosh V. because he does bring this to his fucking table. And you'll see that later, because I got another point I want to bring. So
yeah, let's get back to that. But before we do, I just wanted to thank or recognize Oz for joining us.
Hello, Oz.
He's
Hey.
the fellow that's
I did want to say something about the whole idea of him getting into Australia via boat.
Hey, B.
When he
Jenny's
posted
calling
that,
you out.
when he posted that image of
I'll
him
handle
trying
it.
to get into Australia via boat, that's how everyone gets into Australia who's illegal. Two, the Navy response to it was just the guy on Twitter saying noted.
That was it.
So, yeah, that was it.
Alright. I thought they sent their gunships to go blow the ship out of the water, which would have been fucking
No.
hilarious.
Our gunships are already there because we patrol those waters because people get in from Indonesia.
I gotta admit, you've got a better system of dealing with fucking immigration than this fucking.
Yeah, it would have been better if he did come because he would have been picked up and then sent to a place called Christmas Island, which is not in Australia. It's sort of like our form of immigration / rendition.
Oh, sounds fun.
Because if you get
Sounds
onto
like a holiday.
if you get onto Australian land, right, the whole UN laws about refugees and all that has to be, the law has to be followed, right? But if you can intercept them before they get to Australia, you can process them offshore.
Oh, they're in international waters, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, I want to bring that point, actually. I love his response with this one, because it was satirical, but it was fucking hilarious. Because this sort of describes England. The Houses of Commons, UK, debated for over an hour. That was it, over an hour. Bad men shouldn't be allowed in. And that was basically the context of that. That's what Houses of Commons did. They had a debate if they were going to let Roosh V into the United Kingdom, and it was over an hour. Yeah. That's as sad as it sounds.
That sounds terrible and tedious, and I think it's wrong-headed. But we should probably get back to the rest of this press conference. We're only 3 minutes in, and I want to try and aim to get to like at least 20 minutes because the last part of it I think really just peters out. But
There's Did you get to about 22 minutes?
Yeah, that is I think a pretty accurate number on this. But
every day. Dozens of threats have come in. Someone said they're going to burn my house down, but save my mom. So I'm glad. But you have to understand that your work and the work of your own colleagues have incited a mob based on lies that has put my family in danger. If they get hurt right now, God forbid, it's because of you. It's because you didn't read a damn article, you misinterpreted. And now we have this rage mob to where, as you can see, I had to hide this. I told you, don't tell anyone. I must state right now that not a single woman has been hurt by me. I've never been accused of rape, never been charged. No follower of mine has read something of me and then gone on to rape, because I know if they did hurt a woman, it would be all over the news. Not a single woman has been hurt.
But emotions.
Yeah, there is.
Right, can you mute a second? Right, I want to bring this up. This really fucking pisses me off about the left-leaning press and ideologues within the press itself. Feminists. The press stayed quiet on actual rape culture, cologne attacks, gangs of men, rape and assault women. Yeah, and they covered it up as well, which